So, I've chosen not to speak on this before.
Okay.
But but today I got time, cuz.
You got time, cuz?
I got time, cuz. But today I got time,
What your
cuz.
speak pun?
So, when Taxstone got locked up, someone had created a video basically claiming that my interviews were part of his indictment. And I was cooperating with the police.
Yeah, I hear these claims about you a lot.
And, and a few media outlets picked it up, right? There's this one fuckboy at The Ringer who actually had to, wrote a whole article about it and say, oh, and Vlad's interview was actually in Taxstone's indictment. We had to actually go send legal papers to The Ringer, and they had to do a retraction and so forth. But I never really spoke about it because I felt it wasn't really my place to speak about it.
Right, but today you got time.
Today I got time, because let me make sure. There was a podcast called Reality Bites, or So Shameless. Oh, Reality Bites is the guy's name, but it's called the So Shameless podcast. Okay. They actually called Taxstone in jail and asked him the question.
Asked him about his paperwork.
Well, asked him about me.
Okay.
Let me play it for you.
You did a few interviews with Vlad, and they're basically saying that the police have been using. They're basically saying that Vlad is a snitch. Like the internet is saying, "Oh, Vlad is a snitch. Don't fuck with him." This, that, and the other. They're saying that he's working with the police.
Vlad is a civilian. Vlad is a civilian. So I don't understand how people could come to the conclusion that Vlad is a snitch. To my understanding of street codes or whatever the things that people go by, a snitch is a person that portrays a certain lifestyle, a gangster lifestyle, or makes a vow to live that lifestyle or principles, and then they go against that code. As far as I know, Vlad has always been a civilian, so I don't understand how Vlad could be a snitch.
All right. Well, is he? I don't want to go too much into something, so please, don't go too far, because I asked you a stupid ass question. I don't want the shit to be used against you. But is he cooperating as far as you know? Do you know that?
Is who cooperating?
Vlad, with the case against you. They're saying that basically the police are using him against you. I don't know if that's true.
Do not listen to everything that the internet says. You understand? The internet is the internet. What it is now is that you have a freeway of free reporters, people that have not been trained to report, people that are not trained journalists, and they just speak on things that they have no idea about. They come up with conclusions and incorrect hypotheses on things, and they just say things. Vlad has nothing to do with anything. You understand what I'm saying? As far as I know, with my situation or anybody else's situation. You know what I mean? That's just people talking. It's poppycock. You know what I mean? The internet, they say anything.
There you have it. I didn't speak on it because I felt that this was this man's job to speak on it if it ever came up. And I was gonna call him and say, hey, let's do an interview about people calling me a snitch, because this man is facing serious charges.
Right.
I'm not going to interview him at all at this point. Like, you know what I mean? If I have a conversation with him, it'll be a private conversation. Like, he honestly just needs to stay off the media, period, right now until his case, blows over. But this was done outside of my control, but we chose to put it out to basically let people know. What's
and
your
exonerate
thoughts?
you. Well, first of all, I say shout out to Taxstone, because, he was like a real motherfucker that was doing the podcast shit, and his energy is kind of missed, and that's another reason why I kind of need to do it, because they need that real energy in this game. Also, shout out to my man, and rest in peace, Combat Jack.
Yeah, rest in peace.
But a lot of people, come on, they know I fucks with you.
Yeah.
So certain people will be like, yo, your man Vlad is a snitch. He be snitching on nigga. I'll be like, yo, how?
Yeah.
Like, yo, how is he? Well, he be having niggas sit up there on his couch and be telling on himself. And I'm like, first of all, what these people choose to admit or not admit is on them.
Right.
it's not like this man is like...
There's no hidden cameras here.
Right. Or like, you know, it's being piped into the police or some shit simultaneously as we're doing this. Like, I ain't never heard about nobody walking out of a Vlad office after doing an interview and then getting cuffed up at the elevator or downstairs or some shit. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so a lot of times people hear people describing, maybe incriminating themselves in a video, but it's not like you're forcing them to do this. That might be just their, you know, not being careful with their own words, not doing the knowledge before they do the wisdom. Now, is it possible that a smart DA or somebody could be like, do their homework and be like, this motherfucker went on a few places. He did an interview of VladTV. Let me see what he said on there. They go watch the fucking video,
right.
And maybe this motherfucker did admit to a murder or some shit they didn't know about, or a robber or some shit. Statute of limitations is still good. Maybe we'll use that, but that's not snitching, okay? And also, like he said, you a civilian. Like, snitching means, you know, you living this gangster lifestyle, you running with some gangsters, y'all doing gangster shit together, making bread. Now you get caught and you tell on the motherfuckers that you was rocking with.
Yeah.
Or even, right? You might be even living a certain lifestyle. You don't rock with these guys, but these are your peers in a way. Y'all might even have beef with each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, but y'all both took that code, that gangster code of how we gonna rock. So in order to get rid of you, snitching can't be one of the things to get rid of you. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It gotta be some other kind, and I'm not saying, you know, death and all that type of shit is not cool. And we don't want that. But that's an example of real snitching. Like when you live in a certain type of lifestyle and then you tell. Because you knew what consequences came with that lifestyle when you started doing the shit. So don't try to fucking tell now. But as a civilian, you're not bound by those fucking codes. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody who's not a 5%er is not bound by the same codes that I'm bound by because they don't know. They're not into that. That's not their culture. That's not their way of life.
Yeah, man, listen. Taxstone just said it himself. I have nothing to do with this case.
Right.
Nor do I have anything to do with anyone else's cases.
Right. I mean, but listen, you know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, motherfuckers, trust me.
Yeah, but motherfuckers, yeah, I mean, people, like, there was literally, like, a video floating around that made it, here's a paperwork, and here's this arrow pointing, and it looks all official, and I'm looking at this fuck shit, and I'm like,
they
a couple of people,
some fake paperwork.
Yeah, some fake paperwork type shit,
wow.
And it's like, oh man, like for real.
Because that's what the streets want to see too.
Yeah, they want to see
paperwork.
Like,
let me see the paperwork.
Right, there is no paperwork.
There is no paperwork.
There is no paperwork. It doesn't exist.
It's fake paperwork.
Go look up the indictment. You know, look up the actual paperwork. Look it up, please. Go ahead. It's publicly available.
Freedom of Information
Freedom
Act.
of Information Act. You know, look at the indictment, man.
There you go.
And like I said, man, I've not said nothing for a year.
Right.
Because
and you could have said, hey, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Try to defend yourself.
No.
This man just spoken for you.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
because honestly, Taxstone situation is serious.
Right.
People talking shit about me is not.
Right.
I could take it. I'm built for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I signed up for this. I don't give a shit.
That's this. You see?
Yeah.
Because you're not a civilian to this shit. You see what I'm saying? Right. So you signed up for this shit.
I signed up for this shit.
And just like a motherfucker who sell drugs and decide to pick up his gun and do all this stuff, they signed up for that. And once they made that choice, not to say that, you know, we as original people, especially here in America, we're often funneled down a certain road, but at the end of the day, we still all make choices. You see what I'm saying? And once you choose to go a certain route and be that motherfucker, then you gotta accept what the shit that comes with it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Taxstone, man. I hope, I've actually heard good things about his case. I heard that case is not as strong as people think it is.
Okay.
You know, and, from what I heard, I mean, he'll probably have to do something.
Right.
But it ain't like
Crazy.
I heard his trial's like next month or something. There's supposed to be some court dates next month, man. We're definitely gonna follow it. And shout out to Taxman because he didn't need to answer any of that shit. He could have just said no comment and kept it moving, and people would have continued to jump to But me and Taxstone have always had a very dope relationship ever since we met. I remember our first conversation. We started talking about all the same people we didn't like, and all the same people didn't like us, and it was just sort of like this cool thing, man. When he was in LA, I took him around, got him some weed, you know what I mean? We rolled around in the Tesla, like hung out at his man's house, like he's done a bunch of interviews with me, man. I genuinely was very sad when I heard about his predicament, man.